world where control is celebrated and uncertainty feared, how do we find peace when life refuses to go as planned? How do we embrace what is without falling apart from what isn't? The Buddhist teachings, rooted in over 2,500 years of compassionate insight, offer us not just answers, but a new way to live, a way that begins not with striving, but with surrender, not with force, but with flow. In this video, we will journey together through 5 pillars of Buddhist wisdom: detachment, radical acceptance, trusting the unseen, meditation as a path to clarity, and releasing the need for control. We will reflect on ancient parables, real-life stories, and soul-stirring insights to help you unlock a life of peace, even when everything around you feels uncertain. So breathe and stay with me till the end. What you hear today might just change the way you carry your tomorrow. The art of detachment, letting go to be free. Have you ever felt like you were holding onto something so tightly, afraid that if you let go, you'd fall apart? Imagine a monk carrying a porcelain cup given to him by his master. He cherishes it, never letting it out of sight. One day, the cup falls and shatters. The monk is devastated, but the master, calm and wise, says, "That cup was already broken from the beginning." What does this mean? It means that nothing in life is permanent. Detachment, in the Buddhist tradition, isn't about not caring. It's about recognizing impermanence so we can love and live more freely. We suffer when we cling to people, to expectations, to identities. But the river does not mourn the water that flows away. It continues forward. So ask yourself, what are you clinging to that no longer serves you? What would happen if you gently let go? True detachment is the beginning of true freedom, radical acceptance, embracing what is. A young disciple once told his master, "I suffer because life is not what I want it to be." The master replied, "You suffer because you resist what is." This is the essence of radical acceptance. We don't suffer because of what happens. We suffer because we think it shouldn't happen. We build stories in our mind about how things should be, and when reality doesn't align, we resist, resent, and retreat. But resistance is like trying to hold back a tidal wave with your hands. To accept doesn't mean to approve or to resign. It means to stop fighting what already is. Acceptance is clarity, and from clarity, wise action can be born. What are you currently resisting? What would acceptance look like in that area of your life? Trusting what we cannot yet see. There was once an old monk. One morning, a wild horse appeared near his home. The villagers exclaimed, "What good fortune?" But the monk only said, "Good or bad, who knows?" Later, the monk's son tried to ride the horse, fell, and broke his leg. "What misfortune?" said the villagers. Again, the monk said, "Good or bad, who knows?" Soon after, a war broke out. All young men were drafted, except the monk's son, due to his injury. This story teaches us something vital. We don't see the full picture. Often, what seems like a setback is life simply rearranging itself for something better. To trust life is to stop labeling every event as good or bad, and instead ask, what might this be preparing me for? Sometimes, the chaos you're running from is the very soil where your peace will grow. Meditation, the return to stillness. A student once said to a master, "My mind is restless. I can't find peace." The master gave him a cup of water filled with dirt and asked him to shake it. Then he said, "Let it rest." Over time, the dirt settled and the water cleared. "This is your mind," he said. "It clears when you stop stirring." Meditation is not about emptying the mind. It is about becoming still enough to see what is already there. Through breath, through awareness, we return to ourselves. We remember that all things pass, thoughts, emotions, even pain. And in that remembering, we find peace. Even 5 minutes a day of mindful breathing can shift your relationship with life. Start small. Start now. Letting go of control. Flowing with the universe. A man once clung to a tree branch over a cliff, terrified to let go. But just below him was solid ground. His fear kept him stuck. And so do ours. We try to control relationships, outcomes, other people. But control is an illusion. The more we try to grip, the more life slips through our fingers. Letting go doesn't mean doing nothing. It means doing your best without being attached to the result. Like a gardener planting seeds. You tend, you water, but you don't pull the flowers up to make them grow. What would happen if you stopped trying to force your life and instead began to flow with it? Compassion, beginning with ourselves. We talk a lot about compassion for others, but what about ourselves? A monk once saw a man weeping. "I cannot forgive myself." The monk said, "Guilt is the stone that stops you from moving. Compassion is the wind that carries you forward." We cannot become whole by punishing ourselves. Growth begins with gentleness. So, speak to yourself as you would to a dear friend. Forgive the past. Trust the process. Begin again. And then extend that same compassion to the world. Integrating the teachings. A daily path. Transformation doesn't happen in temples. It happens in traffic, in conversations, in moments of choice. Here's how you begin. Practice detachment. Ask yourself, am I holding this out of love or fear? Accept what is. Stop arguing with the present moment. Trust the process. Let life unfold in its own time. Meditate. Even 5 minutes can shift your whole day. Let go of control. Do your part, then release. Live with compassion. Start with yourself. You don't have to do it all perfectly. You just have to begin. You are already on the path. If you have listened this far, you are not lost. You are awakening. The Buddha never promised an easy life, but he offered a way to meet life with clarity, courage, and love. So let go gently. Accept fully. Trust deeply. And walk peacefully. Because what is meant for you will find you, not when you chase, but when you are ready. And if this message touched your heart, subscribe to the Enlightened Mind. Together, we walk this path, one breath, one lesson, one awakening at a time. Until next time, may you live with presence, peace, and purpose.